Well, hello and welcome everybody. I'm so excited to be here with you today. Today is December 9th, 2020, and this is your Team Prosperity Wednesday meeting. I've got some stuff that I want to go over that I think is going to be helpful to everybody, and I know Mike's got a great presentation for us, so I can't wait to see that. So let me go ahead and get mine, and let's take a look at it. So this is such an exciting time, the end of a year. And I'm really working hard on ending the year strong. So I wanted to kind of talk a little bit about that and share a few things that help me build my business. The first thing that I want to talk about is having a positive attitude. I think this carries over so much because anything is just a transfer of emotion. All sales is, whether we want somebody to look at the opportunity or a solution to a problem that they might have, having that positive attitude a lot of times is going to make the difference. People want to work with and build a business with people that they like and actually enjoy communicating with. And seeing the glass half full, it takes daily practice. It's not something that's always taught. So you really have to try to see the good in everything. At least I know I do. And I try to be grateful. I know that helps me be positive. So those are just a few tips. Another thing that I've noticed that I was talking to a few business partners about this week is the takeaway. People want what they can't have, right? And so when we're talking to potential business partners, we're really interviewing them. We want them to convince us why they're the right fit, not the other way around. I'm not looking for anybody with a pulse. I'm actually looking for a specific type of person. So I really want them to tell me why they're that person. And sometimes that last follow-up, letting them know, hey, can't reach you, I'm closing the file on my side, best of luck, that will get you more resolution than any other follow-up you'll ever do. The fact that you're not chasing them is going to make them want more. So closing that file, leaving the ball in their court, that could be a powerful thing. Now, on the client side, if we're going to recommend something, we want to make sure that it's something they can qualify for, that it's even an option for them if it's underwritten. Or to see if we can help them, we need to look at their numbers and see if this is something that can help you or not, if it's not underwritten. So it's not always going to be the right fit, and we want, them to understand that. And this one's going to take a little bit of time because, sometimes you get into a room or a virtual meeting and your tendency is to be that chameleon and, blend into the conversation when you really want to be that influencer in the room where everybody else adapts their energy to you, right? So don't adapt to the energy in the room, influence the energy in the room. I thought that was pretty cool. And I've done a lot of trainings on this lately, building your follow-up system. Get organized. Do your most important tasks first. I started doing this a few days ago. I've got 30,000 LinkedIn connections, but I'm not posting enough. I'm not dripping on my network. So this morning is the first thing I did was I put my post together. I'm going to do one every single day. So, and relentless follow-up until it's resolved. No matter how many, times you're going to touch with that person, depending on how interested they are, feel like you've got a resolution. That's really important. And follow up using different methods. Like this morning, I had somebody miss an ABC call. I sent them an email. They immediately opened the email. So you just never know, why somebody missed your call. But you can always text message them, email them, get creative. So, and no doesn't mean no forever. Sometimes it's just a window of opportunity. So if they tell you, I love this, I just don't have time right now, follow up with me in a month. Make sure you follow up with them in a month. There's no reason just to dump them at that point. So be nice to people too, so they feel like they want to engage with you in the future. You have to leave yourself open, for them to reach back to you or to give referrals. So what I've been doing is I've been telling them, hey, I really enjoyed our conversation. Let's keep in touch. I'm going to send you a little bio so you can see a little bit about what we do. So that way they can refer back to that. They can maybe give you referrals if they like speaking with you. It's all about building relationships. And when you are doing a call, like an interview or an intro call, have some questions in front of you. Don't wing it. Don't just talk about nothing forever, you know, have some kind of funnel point. And I think Mike does such a great job at this. Like, he will not go into a call without a set of questions in front of him, whether it's pulled up on his computer or whatever. Because you want that conversation to go to a certain point. You just don't want to talk in circles. And I'm guilty as charged of doing that. So have your questions, write down notes. You're not going to ask every question every time, but at least it's going to give you some kind of outline to follow. And go into every day with a plan. Don't go into every day not know what you're going to do. That's the worst thing you could possibly do. You're never going to build a business that way. So have a calendar, have a to-do list or lists, have a follow-up list or lists. 12-week year if you're using that, time blocking, really powerful. Be accountable, set goals, you know, for yourself, even if you're not sharing them with us. And ask for help or feedback. I think this is one of the things that people feel like they need to do everything on their own, or they have to do everything on their own. That's not it. You know, I can do things you can't, you can do things I can't, but together we can do great things. One of my favorite quotes. It's so true. It's like we're all kind of putting the puzzles together in one beautiful picture. So don't be afraid to ask for help. And hire up, bring in the right people. This is another thing that's going to come with experience. I think in the beginning, you're just so excited that somebody's interested and they want to come in versus really vetting people and making sure they're the right fit. So you're going to keep getting better at this, but you have to remember that we have something really, really special and our timing couldn't be better. We've got all these things that people don't have: leadership, ongoing support, training, you know, group training, one-on-one training. You know, we've got all these things like a Facebook group, YouTube channel, all these things that like other teams don't have. Help with marketing. We have the best web assets, the best products. I mean, people live to find this stuff, and we have all of it. And so if people are looking for what you're offering, our job is to let them know, hey, it exists and we have it. And that's for both partners and, you know, client solutions. And we have to realize that entrepreneurship is not for everyone, and that's okay. You know, we're all a little bit crazy, right, to break outside the mold and do our own thing and be prepared to fail and learn and learn some more. So we have to look for other people that are a little bit crazy like us, that want to be entrepreneurs. It's not for everybody. And pivot. Right? If they're on the fence or not understanding the value that we provide or the impact that we make, pivot them over to the client side. Let them experience, you know, the type of education and financial literacy that we offer our clients so they can see what they're going to be inviting people to do. Teamwork makes the dream work. It really, really does. I mean, you really want to surround yourself with the right people that have different skill sets. You all work together to a common goal. Really, really important. And for that, you're going to need to find a target audience. You can't be everything to everybody, and Mike is so great at talking about this. And it took me a while to understand that, you know. And even if you can, you don't want to. You know, you really want to go for the right people. You need to headhunt those people. And more successful people tend to be more busy. They have more projects. Just because they don't want to do it in December, and they tell you, hey, follow up with me in January, it doesn't mean that's a dead lead. It means that they're interested. Follow up with them in January. Sometimes we just have to listen to what people are saying to us. And be persistent to get that resolution, you know. I think that's super important. And then the bottom line is just do it, right? The perfect is the enemy of the good, and I'm a true believer in that. For a long time, I tried to put posts together that are perfect, and what happened was I did nothing. And now I'm just putting it out there. Like I said, every day I'm making it happen. And there's a lot of people like me and Mike and like you on the call or listening to the recording out there. And the best partners and, you know, the best anybody that we can work with would be mission driven. How many works, financial literacy, all of these things are so incredibly important, and we can offer what others can't. So we really want to look for those crusaders. Make yourself uncomfortable every single day. Growth happens from doing new things and being uncomfortable. If you keep doing the same thing, you're going to keep getting the same results. And if you want different results, you have to do things differently and try new things. And ask for help. No one's good at everything. And even if you are, you're not going to want to do everything. So if you don't ask for help, we don't know that you need or want help unless you tell us. No one can do it for you. And I love this little message here. And the trouble is, if you don't risk anything, you risk more. You risk everything, right? Change is the only constant, right? Don't fight it. And action, just do it. Every single day, you know, we do it every day. Action is that deciding factor between failure and success, really, at anything. So we learn to get better by taking action, and action is the deciding factor between mediocre entrepreneurs and the heroes that we talk about. So that's all I've got. Let's finish December strong and build momentum going into 2021. Let me go ahead and grab Mike. Thanks.
All right, you guys, December the 9th, and what do we see already happening? We see people are putting it into cruise control for the end of the year. You know, just right here, the attendance live on this meeting is lower than it normally is. So what we want to take away is that if everybody else is decelerating, everybody else is putting things off to the first of the year, you don't want to lump yourself in that crowd. You don't want to have that herd mentality, because anything that you do now can have an immediate impact, but also springboard you into 2021. So just understand that, you know, there's going to be some downtime this month due to the holidays. There's going to be some people that have already checked out. Continue to follow your plan of action, and let's get this done. I was looking for something in our Facebook group today. Obviously, it's a private Facebook group, so everything inside that is private and no outsiders can see. But I had to scroll a good way through the group. And when Alana and I first got this group launched, it was designed to do two things: create a communication center, keep everybody connected, and also provide you guys with things that will help your business. And as I was scrolling through the Facebook group, there are some dynamite things in there: guides, ebooks, links to free training, all of these things in there that will really help us. So I was pleased with what I saw in the Facebook group, and I think if you guys go back through there and extract some things out of there, you'll be surprised at what you find. We just finished the 12-week year. We had a handful of people that finished, and to be quite honest, none of the handful of people had, you know, just outstanding, great 12-week years, but they did complete it. So the process of going through the 12-week year and continue to go through it will create a time management system and a production system that allows you to get way more done than other people do. But like I said, it's a process, and you got to go through that. So if it's uncomfortable, we'll launch another 12-week year after there, sometime mid-January probably. As we move close to the end of this year, it's a great opportunity to reflect on how far you've come, or maybe how far you haven't come. Just an honest reflection, what you achieved or what you have not achieved. Then you've got to look forward. Remember, we can build on the momentum, or we can reset if there's really nothing happening. As we look forward, I'm asking you guys, and you need to be asking your partners, join me. We need big dreams, we need to set goals, and we need to act as we move into 2021. It's not about preparation. It's not about being patient in 2021. It's about being the aggressor and going out there and making your business happen. This is going to be a weird year, because as we come out of the backside of this coronavirus, people are going to get back into a thought process of what do I want to do with my life, and coming back out of that, they probably have a new mindset about what they want to get accomplished, who they want to spend their time with, how they want to approach money, all of these things that we can come in and really offer education, advice, and partnerships when appropriate. So when we say dream big, we really mean it. Grab your courage, take a stretch, and strive toward achieving your very best life. Make 2021 a breakout year for you, a grand one, because I think what you're going to see is a lot of other people are going to come through, and that's going to start to happen, and you definitely don't want to get left behind. You're going to regret it. There's going to be some downtime, like I said, this month. So how do entrepreneurs spend their holidays? Well, I'm going to spend some of my holidays reading, further educating myself, getting better, gaining new skill sets. That goes to the online education as well. You know, if there's, academies or, anything that I can learn online to increase my skill sets. If I increase my skill sets, I know I increase my revenue and income. I also upgrade my network that I'm talking to through that process, and that gives me a better pedigree and caliber of person coming in, whether it's a client or whether it's a partner. And finally, what I'm going to do is I'm going to prepare for this year, 2021. I'm ready for it. You guys should be ready for it. This is not a year where you're going to be trying to drag people up a mountain. This is going to be where we're pushing people the right ones to get to the mountaintop with us. So when I say education and when I say learning and when I say reading, two of the things I'm reviewing over the holidays, and we went over this last week, is 10X Rule. I think this is a great book at a great time for a great year because we understand what's happening on a company level and we understand what's potentially going to happen on a team and individual level. You want to capture as much of that as possible. And also I'm going to be reviewing the 12-week year because going back through that system, I want to make sure that I get better and better and better so that I can do what it was meant to do, which was accomplish more in a quarter than most people do in a year. We talked last week about the game plan, the blueprint for 2021 as we roll over that. If you need to review that, it's got a lot of great information in that. Once again, all of these meetings are posted in the Facebook group, emailed out, and put on the YouTube channel. So 2021, I think really, and I believe this 100%, is going to be a year of separation. And that's really a reason of celebration for the talent, right? If you feel like you're a talented person, if you feel like you're going to bring talent into an organization, we have a track to let them run off of, build distribution in trillion-dollar industries, and really take home a big reward for solving a big problem. So this is going to be a year of separation, which means you have the potential to get ahead, or like I said, be left behind. Definitely we don't want to be left behind this year. Also, from a macro standpoint or a macro point of view or perspective, understand that financial wellness has always been a good business, but I think we're moving from a period where in a lot of people's mindsets, it's a nice-to-have thing. Financial wellness, it would be nice to have financial wellness, financial security, financial literacy. Now we're moving to it's just an integral part of well-being. You know, part of your health, spiritual health, physical health, mental health, financial health is right there. And if you don't have financial health and you don't have financial wellness and being, then it's going to affect the other parts of your life. So people are starting to understand this is not just something that I put off to the side that's a maybe. This is an important part of my life that I cannot escape, and I need to take control. And most people knowing, or us knowing that most people are financially literate, we can come in with that education and we can have a huge positive ripple effect. Remember, big money is one thing. Big positive ripple effect on what you do for other people is as important, maybe if not more important. Remember, this whole thing, what you're trying to do, you're trying to build distribution, you're trying to build offices, you're trying to set up things coast to coast nationwide. It's a process. And the whole change, what you're trying to do, what you're trying to build, it's a process. It's not an event. So you're not just going to work real hard for a week, wake up and like, oh, it's done. You've got to make sure that you understand that it's a process. And when you are marketing and when you're doing the stuff that we do every day, no matter what situation is, no matter how bad the day is, bad week is, bad the month is, no matter the situation, never let your emotions overpower your intelligence. If you know this is the place to be and you understand the opportunity, don't let other people, other events, anything in your life overpower what you've come in here to do because you know you're at the right place, the right time, right product, services, and company. Don't let anything change your mind because you're going to have good days, bad days, but overall, the process of doing this, you should become numb to it. Don't get too high. Don't get too low. Stay even keel. Let those efforts compound over a period of time and understand, trust the process. If you look at any entrepreneur, self-employed business owner, no matter how long or short they were in business for, there's going to be a 90 to 120 day period, 3 or 4 months, a quarter or a little bit more than a quarter, where they just went all out. And that's what it's going to take, guys. And I'm planning on doing that this year in 2021. I hope you are too. I've been doing this for quite a while. Obviously, we've introduced some new tools, but I'm still going to go through that process because I know that if I do this, it's got such an explosive back-end opportunity, what it can do for my business. But like I said, going through consistency is one thing. That's important. Going all out for a period of time is also important. And we understand that if we go all out, we're in a position where the money game has met technology. So if we put the work in, we know we're on the forefront. We know what the possibilities are. We decided to come in here and act. The results are waiting for us. That whole middle part, the action, that's all we've got to take care of. Quarter Century Club. The reason I bring this up, you guys, is because if you look over the last 25 years till, let's say, 1995, and you look at the dot-com bubble, which started this whole technological revolution, over the last 25 years, where has the wealth been created? It's been created with a combination of two things: technology, which creates innovation, and the equity ownership of that technology and that innovation. Combination of those two things are super powerful for wealth creation. So if you look at the opportunity that you have both of those elements in the recipe. You just have to put it to work. So is the challenge accepted? If you know what you have in front of you as possibilities and you know what you're willing to do, once the challenge is accepted, you have to make sure that day in, day out, you rise up to that challenge. And then you also have to understand that as you're inviting other people into your offices, into your sales team, they also have to have a mindset where they understand what they need to do, understand what the potential back-end results are, and understand what they have to act. The commitment has to be two ways. We have a commitment to them. They have a commitment to us. But ultimately, we can't do what we need them to do in the very beginning. It's on them. We can help them, but they've got to do some things. And that's what this represents right here. If you're going to start this huge fire, this huge distribution, it starts with you and you only. You've got our help, but you're the match. You have to start the spark that starts the flame, and then you've got to continue to have activity and education that serves as gasoline to put fuel on that fire to make this explosive. There's absolutely nothing stopping you in this model except for yourself. From 6 to 7 figures is a lot easier than you guys probably think in your head with this business model. So you want to simplify your business, which we have. You want to gain your time back, which we've showed you how to. And you want to scale faster than ever. Remember, growing a business and scaling a business, very different. Growing means that you're adding expenses as you add income at about a proportional rate. When you scale something, you're adding revenue and income at a much higher rate than you're adding expenses. You understand when you scale, if there's nothing standing in your way, if you don't need additional infrastructure, you don't need additional capital, there's nothing stopping you from building a quick 6-figure business, multiplying that to a 7-figure business, building an exit strategy over a few years, and walking away with a cash flow asset as well as the equity payday that's in store. You get there by doing what you need to do in the beginning, being that match, and then being that mentor. You want to work with the people who are actively trying to do this. So that doesn't mean only work with the people that are getting the results. Activity and results are not the same in the beginning. We look for activity knowing that the results will come. So if there's activity from your partners in the beginning, spend time with them. If there's no activity from your partners, you've got to get a return off your time investment. Make sure that it's worthwhile. Once again, there's a commitment from both sides. Are you guys meeting each other halfway? It's going to take some time. It's going to take some research. It's going to take some experimentation to find out the right business design to hit your goal. We've all got different goals, but it's out there. It's feasible. It's able to be accomplished, and it's yours if you want it. Once again, it's not going to happen overnight. It's a process, and it's not going to be something that is easy. In terms of when you go out there and you try stuff and sometimes you fail, it's disheartening. It kind of brings you down a little bit. That's why we say be numb to the process and understand that if you do stuff and it works, repeat it. If you do stuff and it doesn't work, kill it. It's really not that hard when you start making data-driven decisions over emotional ones. We've talked about this so much since COVID started, but we've got a huge movement right now, and you've got people on the move, which brings talent out where it wouldn't have been, 18 months ago, 24, 36 months ago. And then also you've got a great amount of money on the move. There's going to be a lot of new legislation on the tax side. There's going to be a bunch of stuff coming down the pipeline. The combination of the people and the money on the move, you should be very, very excited about that for what you do, your business model, your product and services. One of the things that we have to understand is that when you build your business, there's going to be a certain approach, and you're going to have leads that create prospects, that create customers, clients, partners, whatever, that creates revenue and income. However, you need to understand, you need to have an open, honest conversation with yourself. What sources are you using? Because that's going to create expectations, and those expectations should lead into results. Once you have the results, that's data. You can comb through that and like we talk about, continue or kill things as necessary. But if you're posting ads to bring partners in, well, you have to understand that through that process, there's going to be some need on the product or the service side. Percentage of those people will end up becoming clients and partners, but it's different than just going out searching for clients. So understand where you're spending your time, where you're spending your marketing effort, and understand what you're trying to get back from that, because you don't want to be disappointed from a process that was started to give you a different kind of result than you anticipated. So what am I doing? What am I expecting out of that? And what results am I actually getting? Be defined in your approach, guys. This is the easiest way to get your business on a track where you understand what you're doing, understand what it's giving back to you, and then teaching other people to do that. If you're not defined in your approach, you're not duplicatable, and even if you find success in this business, you're never going to be able to teach somebody else what you're doing, how you do it, because you don't really know. We have a very, very, very simple flow of communication. It's an intro. That intro could come from social media, warm market, common market, cold market, email, text, social media message. It doesn't matter. It's an introduction, and it leads to a proposition question, yes or no. Hey, if I can do this for you, you want to watch a couple short videos. Well, that leads to the video. So an intro, yes answer, leads to videos. Our job is to follow up and confirm those videos were watched. If there's interest, we continue and direct the conversation. If there's not, then we kill the conversation. And then we get conversions out of that. When you guys understand the flow of communication and you're direct and you're templated and you're structured, this business is not very hard. The only reason it would get real hard is if you don't have enough coming through the top of the funnel. And that's very, very important, because what happens is if you don't have enough leads, you start concentrating on individual leads, and then you start coming off as needy and desperate. So if you have enough in the pipeline and you're following this, you're going to get what you're looking for naturally. So let's real quick just go over some introductory language lessons, because some of what we see out in the marketplace is very enticing. Some of what we see other people put out, very, very boring. So you have to understand, when you're combing through social media, you're looking at emails, you're looking at text, what makes you stop? What makes you open that email from a sender that you may not know or have very little knowledge of? And that comes from language. Language is very, very powerful. So let's take a look at two examples. Let's say I sent somebody this message. Add this to your business to make more money. Block time on my calendar. Well, it's kind of like that, just an indirect pitch, just throwing it out there. Whatever happens, happens. Well, what about if I get in front of the same person and I say, I would like to talk to you about your business, or I'd like to know more about your business. Please find a few minutes that works best for you at. So once again, if you're asking somebody to do something, book a call, watch a video, you've got to give them a reason. And one of the reasons is, hey, I'm showing interest in what you're doing. I would like to know more. That opens conversation, guys. So remember, an approach is one thing. Language in the approach is very, very important. If you're finding you're not getting responses back, things are falling on deaf ears, go back, be creative with your language, and once again, build interest in what you're doing by showing interest in other people. Learn to disqualify people. When you're always trying to qualify people, it comes off as desperate. When you start disqualifying people, like Alana says, the takeaway, that really works. And also, you're disqualifying people because you don't want to bring the wrong people in, right? You got to get that time investment into that new partner or client. Got to get a return off of that. We're not here just to waste time all day and go into the poorhouse. So disqualifying, let's talk about something I received. I received this email from somebody trying to sell a program. Subject line, this isn't for you. Well, that caught my attention. What is it for me, right? It got me to open the email. Opening line of the email, you have my name. Chances are, ... There's a little bit more information. My blank program, took the program name out, isn't for you. It's nothing personal. It's just that only certain type of person will succeed using it. And most people are not that type of person. The fact that you're here to begin with, though, is a pretty good sign, which means you might be that type of person. But again, most people aren't. It's the ultimate takeaway, guys. This works. Disqualifying people, telling people they can't have something or they're not the right type of person makes them want to talk to you even more. You got to be confident. When you're out there, no matter if you don't really know about the business opportunity, the products or the services a lot yet, you've got to be confident, because if you're not confident And that goes back to being structured, having questions, having scripts. If you're not confident, the other person is more confident than you, they're going to run that conversation. You're going to lose 100% control, and then like a dog chasing its tail, just round and round and round. All right, and then also, when you're confident, it allows you to start working hard. It allows you to start being focused. It allows you to start dreaming bigger. It, gets the quit outside of your head, the notion that, hey, maybe this isn't going to work, maybe I can't do this. It allows you to be yourself, and when you start getting your personality into some of your marketing, it's going to attract the type of people that you want around you. It allows you to keep moving, become fearless. And remember, when you become fearless, your life becomes limitless, and it allows you to start becoming calm, because when you're confident in a conversation, you know that you can control the conversation, and that allows you to be calm, and that allows you to become a better communicator. You're just trying to put the pieces together. Like Alana said, when you're talking to people, is this a right fit? Can I help you? How can I help you? What side of business, client, partner? But ultimately, we want to help people that want to help themselves. And that's why those upfront conversations are so important. That's why those filters are so important, because if you bring in the wrong people, you're going to be working hard. You might not make any money. It's nothing worse than putting in a 50, 60-hour week and getting nothing back out of it. So you want to make sure you're bringing in the right people. And if you do that, it becomes very easy. You're just putting people in the appropriate slots. And that brings me to this point. So the side hustle. So as we have been looking over the past few years, and you look at the quarter century since the dot-com started in 1995, let's go back 30 years. Let's go back to our 25 years to 1995. If I needed a side hustle, what do? Well, I might be able to deliver pizzas. There might be something locally. But the side hustle, the gig economy has exploded. So that makes people more interested in earning side money, which opens up more conversations. The problem is, and what you guys need to understand is that everybody, or most everybody, when they look at a side hustle, they're investing their time into the wrong places with the wrong mentality. Some of these people you can help, some of them you can't. So let's look at side hustles and what's going on. What's your side hustle? In this particular survey, 32% of people sell a service, 30% resell new or used items, 15% take online surveys. I don't know if you guys have ever seen online surveys. That is a huge waste of time. I asked somebody one time how much you got paid for an online survey they were doing, and they said anywhere from like 50 cents up to a few dollars. Well, it's a waste of time, guys. You got 15% of people trying to earn side money doing that. The other 13% in the gig economy and 10% in multi-level marketing. Well, what does this equate to right here in terms of earnings? What's your side hustle business doing for you today? So 50%, they haven't started yet. They're still in the procrastination period, I call it. That's preparing, reviewing, thinking about it. That's all procrastination. So you got 50% of the people just continue to push it off. And then you've got 36% of the people said, I've started, but I'm making less than $500 a month. Well, how much time are you investing in that? What's the return? Probably not too great. And you've got a small sliver over here, 14%, that are making over $500 a month. We're in financial services. It's a lucrative industry to be in. We've got competitive advantages. We've got technology. For the right people, this makes a good fit. But if you think your use of time taking online surveys is a good use of time, then that's the wrong side of the cash flow quadrant. So where are they? What do they want to do? How are they going to get there? And can we help them? Sometimes you can help them, but they really can't help themselves. They're stuck in some type of a mindset, are stuck in some type of a loop or a trap they just can't get out of. And this is the biggest question, no matter if you're interviewing somebody that's looking for a side hustle, career change, inserting this into their vertical, what are they doing right now and what do they want to do going forward? If they are trading their time for money and that's what they want to continue to do, that's a false sense of security. We talked about that, but this is a filter that I use first and foremost, is the cash flow quadrant. You want to continue to trade your time for money, then we're going to end the conversation. Maybe I can help you on the client side. I'm not sure. But I need people to understand that the way to get ahead and the way to make money is to trade your time for results. And that's how you make real money. That's scary for this person over here who's used to trading their time for money. But this is a false sense of security. This is a trap. If they're looking to make the move, great. They might be a qualified partner for me. If they're not, we're ending the conversation earlier. This is a filter. Once you guys understand that, it's very easy to start talking to people. I don't know if you guys remember the game of life as you were a kid, but you go around and you have all these life events happen to you, and really the real game of life is kind of like this. How well you're able to play this game, especially in a country like the United States of America where we have a capitalistic society, and you have all these ways that you can become self-employed, entrepreneur, business owner. How well are you playing the game of life? Because the scorecard is going to reflect how well you're playing that game. And when you play the game of life, you have to understand the power of possibility. Whether you're talking to a partner or a client, what is the power of possibility? What is the power of thinking down the road and putting myself in a much better outcome than I am now? Well, that's a good feeling, and that gets the creative juices flowing. That gets me dreaming. That gets me thinking. The most important thing I got to think about in possibility is why. That's the purpose. If you've got a client, you've got a partner, and you have not uncovered their why, what are they doing? Not what are they doing, but why are they doing it? What is the cause? What do they believe? If you can't uncover this, then you haven't gotten to know that person well enough to offer a solution that they believe that you can actually help them, which leads to an action step. Have to uncover the why. Until you do that, you keep pressing. So the choices that we make, and that what makes us a human being, we can go out and we can make any choices that we want. Our choices, hopefully produce good outcomes, but our choices produce both good and bad outcomes. And you can't gloss over the fact that when somebody's making a choice, if it's the wrong choice, it's going to end up in a bad outcome. They have to be able to see that and realize it to make any changes in their life. So that's the pain point sometimes that you got to dig into. And if you're not comfortable doing that, that's something you got to learn how to do. Remember, partner or client, it doesn't matter. We want to know, first of all, what do you want? What is it you're trying to accomplish? Because that's something I have to know from you so I can help you build a roadmap. And then after that, after we know what do we want, what's your plan? Where are you now? Where do you want to go? And how are you going to get there? We'll help you along the way, but we can't come up with your why. We don't know what's going to motivate you. We have to find out what is it that you actually want. And that's going to be unique and specific to the person you're talking about. Remember, as you're moving through this, you've got to explain to people, choices in life create outcomes, and they can be good or bad like we saw. So when you're talking to people, if they're looking to make an action step, what do you have to gain? On the other side, what do you have to lose? There's going to be a choice. There's a fork in the road. There's a decision to be made. On that decision, what are the possibilities that you have to gain? What are the possibilities that you have to lose? And then on the other side over here, what if you take this action step? What's going to happen? What if you don't take this action step? What's going to happen? You have to get people thinking about possibilities, forks in the road, and you have to understand that the inability to take action or the ability just to continue to procrastinate and not take the action step, you got to get them thinking, what's that going to do for the outcome here? Remember, a plan of action, once we uncover the why, is ultra important because you see so many people drifting out there. Nobody ever wrote down a plan to be broke, fat, lazy, or stupid. Those things are what happen when you don't have a plan of action. So we're looking to help people that want to help themselves understand it's going to take a plan, commitment, and it's going to take action. If the type of person you're talking to is just going to wing it through the rest of their life, guess what? They're going to accept a life that whatever comes down their road. We're looking to talk to people on both the client and partner side that want to create a life they actually want and look forward to. Changing your life is always possible. Whether you're 20, 70, it doesn't matter. Whether you're in the worst possible shape of your life, financially, physically, it doesn't matter. Change is always possible if you're willing to make the change. Now, your new life is going to cost you your old one. Now, in a lot of situations, if we're talking to a client and we set them up and their new life looks like this down the road, it's going to cost the old one, but that's okay. And you reinforce this, hey, if we get to this point, you're not going to be living, making these payments. You're not going to be living with no retirement or whatever. Is that going to be okay with you? And that kind of gets a chuckle out of them, but your new life, regardless if you make good decisions or bad decisions, is going to cost your old one. What we're looking for is people that want to make the changes and look to move into a new life that once again they're creating, they want, they look forward to. It inspires and motivates them. Just a quick little announcement. We're going to move from free conference call on these meetings over to Zoom. I've got a URL. It's mikesoffice.online. So that'll be where we're meeting starting in January every Wednesday. And if you guys need anything, that'll be the office address. Remember, when we are sitting down for meetings, this is about you and your partners. So we want to know if you've got any suggestions, want us to talk about anything on these meetings. It's wide open. Email, text, call us. Let us know what you want to hear about, because your voice, it really matters. You know, we've been doing this for a number of years on one side. The extra tool in the vertical got added at the beginning of the year. But we want to know, you know, what are you struggling with? What do you need help with? Because that's the stuff that if you're struggling with it, probably other people are too. And we'll continue to go over that stuff, and you're actually helping, you know, the entirety of the organization. And lastly, guys, for today, we want to thrive. We don't want to just survive. And there's a lot of people out there that are playing it safe. They're playing defense. They just want to survive, just want to make it through. They'll get by with whatever they got. That's not the type of people I want to surround myself with on the partner or on the client side. I want to help people thrive. One of the reasons I'm in this business is to rise people up, create wealth for people on both sides of the business, and change their life. So it's very, very important that you guys get behind our mission, understand what you can do for yourself, your family, charitable organizations, partners, clients. It's an opportunity to change yourself, change your community, and actually have a real opportunity on a percentage level to change the nation as a whole.
Wow, that was really good, Mike. I hope that you all got as much out of it as I did. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording, and then we can open up the floor for questions, comments, anything that you all would like. Thank you so much.